guys, and listen, welcome to the show. Glad to have you here. Today is Tuesday, July 3rd, 2018, and tomorrow is Happy 4th of July Day. Okay, so you guys gonna have, I'm not gonna be on tomorrow. You guys have a great time. We had our, yesterday, we had our July 1st, so it's very close, but July 1st and July 4th. You guys have July 4th. And listen, have a good time. Go out and have some picnics or have some cold beer and watch some fireworks tomorrow. It should be fun. First thing I'm going to get right off, on a story about the Chinese. So let's start the charts right here. I found this story interesting, so I'm going to get on to it before I get into the markets, and then we'll talk about the markets. First thing is these Chinese. What they're doing is Chinese have a laser, AK-47, right? And it says it can set you on fire from a half a mile away. Now look at this Chinese guy. He's got it. And boy, that sure does look like a real weapon to me. It looks like a real Chinese guy, a Chinese soldier holding it. It looks really well made and everything. They call it the ZKZM 500. Laser assault rifle. Evidently, it must be 500 watts. Okay, that's probably what it is, 500 watts. It can fire more than 1,000 bursts, each lasting 2 seconds. It says, nobody will know where the attack come from. It looked like an accident. It cut through you like a surgical knife. It's capable of carbonizing a human person. It weighs only 3 kilos, the rifle does. About the same weight as an AK-47. And here's a picture of the side of the rifle. But then it says that where does it say? It's the capabilities of the rifle. It says, but some, and I'll highlight it here, it says some in the U.S. military and veteran community are already calling bullshit, as the report appears to be the latest in a tit-for-tat propaganda war with the Pentagon over advanced military tech. So what they're doing is they're out there and they're saying, oh, the Chinese could never build something like that. They're incapable of the technology and all of this kind of stuff, right? And they're calling bullshit. Well, these are probably the same guys that are calling bullshit and saying that the Chinese can't do this. They're the same guys who are saying that North Korea doesn't have ICBMs that can hit North America. You know what I mean? And you got to understand something about North Korea, and that's something I've been watching very carefully. They say that North Korea, all the way through these talks with Trump and everything else that they've had, that North Korea has actually increased their production of uranium. And they've increased their nuclear programs. They've actually increased it. Does that sound like somebody who's going to give it up? I mean, well, it's just me, but I mean, so anyway, let's take a look at this. So for all these guys out there who believe all this is utter bullshit and baloney, take a look at this story, and I'll be quiet for a second while this plays.
Hey YouTubers, now where do I even begin? I just built something so crazy that I'm almost afraid to use it. So this is my 40-watt laser shotgun. And to put things in perspective, my homemade lightsaber video that went viral a few years ago, that was 3 watts, and this thing is 40. So we're going to do some utter destruction today. Now the heart of this laser shotgun is this 40-watt blue laser diode array that shoots 8 parallel 5-watt laser beams. And I strapped it to that big heatsink there. And then the battery is a giant lithium polymer battery pack, and then I'm using 24 LM317 drivers. And then I added a moth for good measure. Dangerous is an understatement for this thing. There's no good reason for anybody to own something this powerful. But because it wasn't illegal for me to build, I decided to build it anyway. Alright, let's start with something.
So what we got here is we got kids on YouTube building the same thing that they say the Chinese can't build. You know what I mean? And I mean, okay, his is 40 watts. And the Chinese one is here, what did they say it was, 500 watts or whatever? A little bit stronger, ZKZM 500. But, you know, it's the same idea. So now let's get on to the onto our markets today. First thing I'm going to look at is cryptocurrency. Bitcoin at Bitstamp. 65.75. And we see it's maintaining this upbeat trend that it's been on. It's had several good green candles upwards in the past day or two, and it seems like it's maintaining this right now. Let's come a closer look at this chart, and we see it's just going along here on this flow right here, around 65, 6600. I'm thinking what could actually happen. Now, my scenario that I'm thinking in my head is we might see a couple more little lifts up, and it might get up around the 7,000, 7,500 range or something like that, and then fall off to make a new low. That's one very distinct possibility. And the new low it would make would be lower than this 57.74. It'd probably be down in, well, I'll tell you what. I did a little bit of research on this, and of course, percentage-wise, this research goes according to percentage-wise. On the last Bitcoin rise up and crash, Bitcoin went up to like $1,150, and then it fell back down to like $100 and something dollars. And if we figure in the percentage-wise, right, that means what percentage was that compared to now it going up to 20,000 and falling off? The indicators would say that this fall off could go as low as 4,000 if it follows that same pattern. But then on the next rise, if it starts at 4,000, it'll go to 300,000 if it goes up as high a percentage again as it did last time. It went up from like 100 and something bucks all the way up to 20,000 bucks. And so this is what it's been doing. But if we go back in the charts, we can see that Bitcoin has done this pattern that it's doing right now. It's a classic pattern that a cycle that all markets follow. When they have these different phases when the people are going in and buying and they're going up and up and up and they're all excited and enthusiastic, and then all of a sudden the whole thing crashes and comes down, and then they get depressed and they start selling and everything. It's following that same pattern over and over and over again. This is what Bitcoin's doing, but every time it never goes as low as it was on the previous time. So right now it's getting down. It's getting down there near its bottom, you know, when it was 57.74. It could go a bit lower, and it's made like two bottoms now, and it's probably going to make 3 or maybe even 4 bottoms before we finally go back into a bull market. This is what I'm expecting, but I mean, it could be wrong. If something were to just hit just right and whatever, it could send Bitcoin back into a bull market prematurely. So we got to keep our eye on this. I'm waiting for one more good buying opportunity coming up, and that's what I'm waiting for, and I think it's coming. I think there's one more really good buying opportunity, and I think it's going to be even better buying opportunity than the 5,700 buying opportunity. See this low spot right in here? That's where I get in, but a little bit the other day, but there might be a better buying opportunity than that coming up just ahead, you know. And of course, when we get there, again, I'm going to be the first guy to tell you when I'm buying. So anyway, here we go. We're off to the Bitcoin market capitalizations. $270 billion. Bitcoin's at 41.8%. And we're seeing green numbers all the way across the board here today. Let's see who's up the most. Cardano is up a lot, over 9.6%. EOS is up a lot. Bitcoin Cash, 2.84%. Litecoin up 5.46% at $86.43. Litecoin's one of my favorite coins. I like Ethereum. I think Ethereum's a really solid coin. But I think Bitcoin Cash is going to overtake Ethereum, given time. Bitcoin Cash, I really like Bitcoin Cash. I want some Bitcoin Cash. I think what I'm going to do is next time Bitcoin goes up, it goes up big, I think I'm going to hang on to HODL, the Bitcoin I have, but I think I'm going to put my money next time into Bitcoin Cash. Because next time Bitcoin goes down, I think I'm going to put my money into Bitcoin Cash. Maybe I could get like 0.25 or something like that of Bitcoin Cash next time, next buying opportunity. Anyway, let's move in. I was kind of just thinking there with my talking as I was thinking. Anyway, here we go. Silver price today. We're going up today, and this is nice to see for a change. We've had an awful lot of bad silver down. Of course, for some people out there, it's good because they were accumulating, but she's going back up a little bit. She's almost back up to 16 bucks. Oh, that's sick to say she's even back up to 16. I mean, man, they've really had their way with silver lately. Terrible what they've done to silver, honestly. Now we're going to jump over and take a look at oil just for a minute here. And why this is important is the oil price is everything's priced in oil. This is an oil-based economy. If the oil price heats up too much, it's going to start to stimulate inflation. And so that's what's happening right now is the oil price has been heating up. 74.81 is starting to get up there, you know. We did have a little bit of a drop down here, but look at this bounce we've had just recently. 74.81. This is why Donald Trump wants Saudi Arabia to increase production. They want to stem off this whole thing, but Saudi Arabia, you know, their wells over there, they're not letting anybody know how much oil they have left. They're giving you old numbers from like 50 years ago, back when they had hundreds of billions of barrels. Now, what have they got left? They won't let anybody get in there and do an actual assay report on exactly how much oil they have left. That's because they've been pumping for like decades and decades and decades. They've been pumping that oil out. And from what I hear, rumors, that they're actually having to pressurize their wells with seawater, and that would indicate that they're actually starting to pump up the last that's down there. I mean, the pool is getting almost drained. When those kinds of things happen, when a pool gets almost drained, I'll tell you, to explain it to you properly, picture a kid that's sucking from a strawberry milkshake, and everything's fine and well, and he's just sucking away, and all of a sudden there's a gurgling sound. Now, see, in Saudi Arabia, that's what they have. They have a giant pool of oil that they're all sucking from that pool. They got it's like they got their straws down, all the individual oil wells, and they're sucking from that pool. When they get down, they finally, it's gone. It's gone. They've squandered their wealth, you know, on whatever they could buy, Lamborghinis and bombs for what do they call those cars? I'm trying to think of the name of them. I'm having a brain fart. But anyway, not long ago they were bombing Libya, and every guy that went out and dropped bombs on not Libya. What country were they bombing? Yemen, was it? Or anyway, they were bombs for Bentleys. That was the car. And so they bought them each a Bentley if they went out and bought so many bombs. The Saudi Arabian Air Force or whatever. And they go out and they drop the bombs. They carpet bomb. And then if they bought so many bombs, then they would get paid with a Bentley, and he bought them a Bentley. Let me see. First let's finish the markets off today. Dow Jones today. Let me update it. 116 points up today, and it's still just following this range right here. It's right in the middle of this range right now. It's right in the middle of the range it's been following ever since February 8th. Till now. Bonds and rates. The bond yield, the yield curve is flattening. Today it's flattening right now. Just take a look at this chart. You see that the short-term yields are rising, where the long-term yields are falling. That's flattening. It's flattening. not a good thing, the yield curve flattening. But I'm expecting these to start rising on the long end. It's surprising me the fact that the long end is falling today. That's not exactly what I'm expecting. This is the 3rd of the month. I'm expecting by the 15th of this month that these to pop. And I'm waiting for it, and they're falling. And it's not fitting in with exactly what I expected. Let's say the U.S. dollar index right now, 94.7. The dollars fell just a little bit. That's because oil prices are falling. No, rising. Oil prices are rising, and this is the reason why the dollar's falling. The dollar's falling is the reason why gold and silver prices are popping a little bit. Anyway, thank you guys for listening to this report, and we'll catch you on the next report coming up. Not tomorrow, because tomorrow's July 4th, but on the 5th. I think things will be opened up on the 5th. Bye-bye for now.